Hi, my name is Rebecca Ferry. I'm from Johnstown, New York, and when I was 9 years old, I got caught in a PTO shaft. PTO shaft is a power takeoff um, unit that goes from a tractor to a piece of equipment that will take the power from the tractor to run that piece of equipment by spinning very fast. What happened to me was it was November 7th, 1992. It was actually my dad's birthday, and he was down breeding some cows for a neighbor, and my mom and my older sister were the ones at the farm, and we were feeding the cows. So my job was to just pull this lever down that engaged the wagon and filled up the wheelbarrows. I wasn't able to take the wheelbarrows in because they weighed about 150 pounds, and I wasn't strong enough at the time to be able to do that. So that's why my mom and my older sister were the ones doing that. So since I had just been standing there, I got kind of cold. And I went into the barn and got my dad's jacket, which was really warm, but it was way too big on me. So one of the times when I was standing next to that shaft, I must have gotten somehow the jacket got caught and pulled me in, so then I was spinning around really fast. My sister was the one by the wheelbarrow. She heard a funny noise and she ran and turned off the tractor, which is the most important thing. Whatever there's something that's just not quite right, is turn off the power before you check it out. So she turned off the tractor, ran and called 911. They told my mom to cut me free or cut the clothes and jacket off, and my heart stopped and I literally died in my mom's arms. Luckily, 2 paramedics lived up the road. They heard the call of the scanner and they came and they revived me. They took me to the local hospital. Really there they couldn't do too much for me but try and keep me stable and try and keep me going, because I had compound fractures of both the knee and the ankle on both legs. I had my lungs collapse, both my lungs collapsed. My heart stopped at once. Later found out I broke my left arm, and I had a vertebrae popped out and a disc popped out in my back. So the local hospital, they tried to stabilize me, and then they took me to Albany Med. They're working on my legs, trying to be able to repair them and mainly stop the spread of infection. The gangrene had started to work on my legs. So the first doctor thought he'd be able to save my legs, but he'd have to break them every month or so I could grow. Luckily, my parents didn't think this was a great idea, because I don't think I'd want somebody purposely breaking my legs. So instead, my dad called a friend of his and was an orthopedic surgeon in Albany. He came in and said they really needed to amputate or cut off my legs at about the knee on both sides. So they did that on Friday the 13th, a fun day to do something like that. So then I don't remember anything from the accident. I blacked out, and so what I'm telling you is what I've been told. And they had me on paralyzing drugs or had me unconscious so that way I wouldn't move and hurt myself. So after 2 weeks, they woke me up, and my dad told me what happened, and the first thing I asked him was whether I'd be able to walk to show my cows that summer, because I had been showing my cows since I was 3 years old, and it was going to be my first year in 4-H. So the first year I got to show at every show we went to. So that was my goal, was to be able to walk by that July. I spent a month in Albany Med. Then I was able to get accepted into Shriners Hospital in Massachusetts, and I went there to have my back surgery. So I had spinal fusion, where they put 2 hooks and 4 bolts in my back. So I have some pretty cool x-rays. I went and I was able to have the surgery, came home by ambulance for Christmas, just be able to spend Christmas with my family. And then I went back and was at Shriners for 3 months, just laying flat on my back, letting my back heal, and start working on physical therapy because I would need to have my upper body strength because I wouldn't have my legs. Then in March, they let me try and get up and start wearing prosthetics or fake legs to be able to walk. I was given a day pass to be able to go to the Massachusetts calf sale and buy a calf. That was going to be extra motivation for me to be able to walk. And while we were out, I fell backwards. And when I did that, they were worried about my back. So they put me flat on my back for another 3 months because they had never had anybody with such a severe back injury and with being a double amputee. So then it was June. They started getting me up, and I started with shorter legs, which is something they invented for me. And so I'm only like walking on my knees. I used those so I was lower to the ground. They're lighter, so it was easier to learn to walk. So I started walking with those, and our first show was in July, and I was able, with the help of my sister, was able to show my calf that summer, and by fall I was able to do it on my own. I took the test at the end of 4th grade and I passed, so I was able to go back to school in 5th grade. So I went back to school that fall, and when I did experience some problems when I was in junior high. Graduated from high school in 2001, then went to SUNY Morrisville and got a degree in ag business, then went to Cornell and got a degree in animal science with concentration in finance. Then I went to work for USDA Farm Service Agency and worked there for 15 years. In 2016, I took over the farm with my sister from my parents, and we currently are 80 cow dairy, and we do about 300 acres of crops. In 2020, I decided to come back to the farm and be on the farm full time while still starting a consulting business for helping people fill out applications. I was also voted to be a national director for the Jersey Association and been a previous winner of the Young Jersey Breeder Award. And I've shown my cows at county, state, and national levels. I'd like to thank Milk for Health for asking me to do this. And my biggest message to anybody is to just keep going, and no matter what happens, try and do everything as safe as possible. But you know, when something happens, it's what you do after that's the most important. So thank you.